What's up, you guys? Hi, and how are you doing? I hope you're doing well from wherever you are. And if you're not, please, as I always say, don't worry. You are not alone, and you are not the first person to face whatever it is that you're facing. So, guys, this is just a short video that I thought I should just put out here because of some things I've experienced today. So, today I happen to be running some errands that have prompted me to use Uber. You guys know the taxis, the Uber drivers. I've used three of them today, and something came out. Most of them, those guys don't talk. When they're driving you, they take you to your destination, you're done, and that's it. You pay and you leave. But something that kept coming up as we were moving along in the journey, they kept mentioning we in Kenya. So they kept mentioning, oh, maisha imekuwa ngumu, now what's going on, like even one told me like, no, the amount of money I'm getting on this trip, I don't even want to look at it because the fuel I've used and the high costs of fuel, it doesn't even match up. So he's looking at what he's gonna take home. Sorry, and he's just not sure whether the job is worth doing or not. And that just got me thinking because it was not one person, it was not one incident. I've been hearing that, and we all know that currently, for sure, life is hard. There's something that made me sad. When I came home, I was home for the better part of the day after I finished doing whatever I was committed to do in the morning. I didn't go to work. I had someone who was doing some stuff around here, and one of the guys is actually like my dad's age, and he was just having a conversation and he told me of an incident. He's a contractor, so he deals with construction and all that. So he told me there's a guy in Runda who he's been having or doing a project for some time. So that guy, the person in Runda has a huge chunk of land, and those guys who live in those suburbs, they have big chunks of land, and then they have built their house on a small section, then they leave the other bit, like to be in Muthaiga, mostly Karen, Runda. You find that they leave the other bits for wildlife. There are so many huge trees there. So he told me that this guy has called me, and you know what he told me? That today they've retrieved a body, or someone hung himself, yeah, very sad, in his space where they don't frequent, where there's like a forest. So he had just called the police to come and check. And weirdly, that was not the first incident. They are telling this contractor now that in the span of like 2 3 months, the police are saying that around that area, they've retrieved more than 6 bodies of people just who've hung themselves, and most of them are just middle-aged people. Like the one who was retrieved today was like a 50 something year old guy. Wow, so as we had that conversation with the contractor, it just got me thinking. And even him, she was just saying, I don't know what's happening, but something really needs to be done. But it's true. Then I just thought about this issue of mental health. Nowadays, guys are going through so much, and especially if you live in Kenya, the cost of living has literally shot to the roof. And then most of the guys, if you're in business, the business has gone down. If you're in employment, maybe your employer is not increasing your salary, yet the cost of living has really gone up. And now that has got so much into people, so that there are so many triggers to people having mental health issues, and people are not talking about them. That's the another thing, because maybe you look around your circle and you're like, everyone around me is just suffering. Or if you listen to any conversation, people are complaining about the leadership of the country. There's so much going on because the people down here, we feel like maybe to some extent our government has sort of forgotten about us, to be honest. And I remember when this government came into power, sorry, I don't like doing politics, but let me just mention, there was so much optimism in that people felt in about a year of this new government. We use the hustler word. The hustlers, or the people on the ground, will have benefited so much, will have felt the impact we will not suffer. But sad to say, the opposite is true. The cost of living has shot up. I don't know what's going on. The cost of the basic needs has shot up. There's so much going on. Taxation has increased. You realize everything, wherever corner you look at, life is hard. To be honest, with all honesty, life is hard. So people are going through so much. You realize that something that you could buy with 100 shillings now, and it's a basic necessity, you need 200 shillings or 150. Yet your salary has not increased. The person who has employed you is also feeling the pinch, so they are not ready to increase your salary. That conversation today about the suicide issues made me just think, like, oh my God, what can be done? Because now the only hope that is left, especially amongst the, us common mwananchi, as we call it here in Kenya, is looking up to God, man, for real, because there's so much hopelessness. But then it hit me, okay, as much as there's a lot of struggle that's going on, you could be watching this clip, yeah? I don't know. And you're in a position to just help, just look around even your neighborhood. If you're in an office and you have some bit of salary and you're not doing so badly off, remember the cleaner who cleans your office. Those guys, the guys who serve you tea, just look around and see whose life can I impact in my little small way. You don't have to go out in a big massive way. You can just be of help to someone who is just around you, who's been suffering but they don't know, maybe because you are the cleaners and the tea girls and this, we call them soldier security guards at your office, look at you like who you're in another class sort of. Yet it's not the case. Sometimes they're afraid to approach you. So you can just look around. If there's one that you talk to, just find out. Hey niaje, unaendelea vipi? How are you doing? And then if you have 100 shillings to spare, my friend, please, if you have 100 bob to spare, just give them, like gift them, tell them kunywa chai. I know it's not everyone who is feeling, most guys are feeling the pinch, but I know there's some of you watching who could have an extra 100 bob to spare and help someone. People are going through so much. You may not be impacting someone's life in a big way, but these issues that are on mental health and all that, we can make small, small differences in our own small ways. There's a colleague of mine was telling me some time back that there was this girl who was serving tea, and it just happened that they go get you lunch, so you decide to tip them, and maybe you send them for an errand, you decide to tip them, and one day out of the blues, the person decided to tip the lady who is a cleaner, who was a cleaner back then. And it was just 200 shillings, but that lady broke down and told that person that, oh my God, unajua sikuwa na fare ya leo. Like, literally, you have sorted me. I didn't know how I'll reach home, but with your 200 shillings, now I will get home. Like that guy or that person who did that impacted the life of that lady in a big way. So what am I saying? We may not be able to resolve the issues that we are currently facing. As we continue to pray for God to intervene in the hard times that you're currently living in, let us try to look for small ways that we can impact people around us. Even in your circle of friends, sometimes we assume too much. Especially, you have these friends, or let's say friends, acquaintances, or colleagues, or people around you who you're close to, or even family. You realize that sometimes there are people who you look at in your circle, and you're like, this one, they have their things figured together. This thing they figured out, they have their things held up together, wako tu sawa. But najua nini? Some of these guys are just craving for someone to just ask them, just asking, how are you doing? Because everyone just assumes this person can sort me out. This person is the one who sorts people out, is the one who can lend money, is the one who can give advice. But these people you are assuming are the ones who really need at least somebody to just talk to. It happens. And these are the people who come to break down, and you're like, huh? Iliendaje? Like, how did that happen? I thought this person has figured out their life. The people you look up to and you think their marriages are perfect. Let me go there. You think they're the couple goals. You don't know what happens behind the scenes. Maybe sometimes they just want someone and they tend to hide things. So maybe you don't know what someone is going through. Now, I'm just challenging us, following all the incidences and the things that are happening. People are going through a lot. There's a lot to carry. And now that kids are home, if you're in Kenya, they are long and they're in the normal government system. You know that they're at home for the next 2 months and 2 weeks. 2 months and 2 weeks, 2 full months. So that means with the increase, with the increase in the cost of living, you need to increase your food, your stuff, everything. So it needs more money. That's why I'm just challenging us. Let us be our brother's keepers. And even I think from a Christian perspective, that is what God actually just requires us to do. There's a lesson I learned from my dad. I just want to challenge everyone on this about giving. Like, if you have something to spare, sometimes you don't even need to have extra. You can have what you have, but you can share it out. As you even look for, maybe if you have for the whole week, you can remain with what to spend for 3 days, and then you share out for the other 2 days. And for sure, once you do that, God usually comes through. And this is a lesson I've learned from my dad. My dad, since we knew him as we were young, he gives and gives and gives. And he made us just learn how to give. And the more he gives, the more he gets blessed. Whether people like it or not, as long as you're giving, imagine it will come back to you. Even the Bible says, let me just go this way because this is the one I know, the Christian way. The Bible says that give and it shall come back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And you know what? When you take care of the needy, the orphans, the widows around us, the widowers, sometimes we forget the widowers. When you take care of the street children, something like when you're walking around, you come from KFC, your kids have eaten to the full and they have carried stuff to go and take home. Guys, when you walk out of KFC, when you walk out of any restaurant in Nairobi, you find those street kids out there, or the ladies with the children, and they're just there hoping to get something to bite. Yes, sometimes we call them lazy, oh, can't you go wash, whatever. But you know what? Instead of your kid taking the chips and the chicken they have left home, why don't you give those guys? You'll have helped someone, or even buy an extra packet. And when you're driving your car around and you see a needy or a street person, just give them and let them have a meal at least for that one time. I'm just wanting to challenge all of us, please, guys. I think we can take this initiative, especially with the rising cost of living, and to just try and curb this issue of mental health. Let us be our brother's keeper. Number one, check on your neighbors, check on your friends, check on your circles, and let us be givers. Like whatever little you have to spare, don't spare everything. By the even life, you never know what life will turn out to be. So don't over hold for yourself until, because we even have some of us, imagine right now people are struggling to even get new clothes. Christmas is around the corner. There are people who don't know where their kids will get. Maybe, there used to be that thing of new clothes. They are needy. People who are taking care of needy kids in children's homes. If you have clothes that you don't use, kindly just pick them. Your wardrobes are overflowing yet you've not worn something for a year. Guys, pick it up, please, and just take it to a children's home that's nearby your place. Drop it there and so long as it's not torn, it is in good condition. That's what I mean. Just go there. Also, get a packet of unga, get a kg of sugar, bless someone with it. Look around at your neighborhood, look around at your community, your church. The ladies who come to do laundry for us, your house help right in your house. You might realize that maybe in their home they are really suffering. Be a blessing to the people who are near you if you're in a position to bless. And if you're in this condition where you don't know what to do or where to turn to, I would want to encourage you. Sometimes there's no shame in the game. There's a lady who said, she's a YouTuber actually, Halima. I don't know if I'll quote her right. She said, "Mficha uchi hazai." It literally means, okay, she was talking about something, but I picked that as to refer to today. If you hide your nakedness, For a lady, you cannot give birth because definitely, yeah, you know what happens. So I mean, if you're in a position, you're tight at a corner, please don't be afraid to speak out. You may be one, you may be judged. Yeah, your kids are hungry. Your kids will sleep hungry because you're in an employment setup and you're afraid of what your colleagues will say. You don't want to ask someone, hey, lend me something, please, I'll sort you to Kilipa or something. Then, or let's say you're around people who are doing sort of better, or even some people are not doing so well, but for that one day you might get someone who will be touched and they will help you. So instead of going to suffer alone, you can try to speak out, look out for someone you can talk to. I'm sure there is, okay, people are very afraid of being judged, but I'm sure there is at least one person who you can try to talk to. For me, even in Kenya, actually, and you're feeling like you're not okay, and I can recommend you to go to, there's this church, Sitam churches. They always have a counselor on site and it is free of charge. So, guys, if you're feeling like you have reached the corner and you cannot talk to anybody, you can walk to any Sitam church and just go talk to a counselor. And I'm sure so many churches around Nairobi have realized they have that. Usually have a counselor on site every Monday to Friday in most churches. So go speak to a professional then, if you know that you cannot to speak to anyone. And even some of these churches, when you go there, they have like baskets where the needy can get something. If you're watching this and you're in such a position, you can go talk to a professional for the sake of your mental health, or you can go walk to any of those churches and ask for help. You never know, maybe they have those baskets where they usually help, they feed the needy. So guys, I just thought about this and it is very sad, and I thought I should challenge us. Yes, life is so hard, but we can make a change, one person also, at please a time. Feel free to share on the comment section places that you know that people can get help, so that, like the churches I've mentioned, if you know any specific place, kindly drop it on the comment section so that we can help one another. Otherwise, do not lose hope. There is hope in God. Don't give up. God got us. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you. Bye.